Next tonight, our series Running Mates, where we get to know what some may call the better half of presidential candidates. We'll let you be the judge of that. We get to know who is Vivek Ramaswamy earlier this week, but tonight we meet his wife, Apoorva. She is a doctor and a mother of 3. Is she in lockstep with her husband's at times controversial views? Linsey Davis has tonight's Running Mates with Apoorva Ramaswamy.
When was the first time that, and I'm wondering if Vivek told you or you knew he's going to want to run for president?
Really just this past December. So that was when he really sat me down and said, Apoorva, I think this is something that I feel called to do because we look at the future for our sons and realizing what are the things that are needed for their prosperity, for their thriving. That's what limits them, is the things that we can do as parents, but really on the political side. And I feel very confident that Vivek, as president, will be able to give Karthik and Arjun the society that they're going to want when they're starting to enter high school, one where their actions are rewarded based on their merit, not based on any other aspect of their appearance or their heritage, but really what they are able to do and give to other people and whether they are able to fulfill their responsibilities. Similarly, to be able to be proud of being Americans. That would be the biggest gift that I hope Vivek can provide to future generations.
How did you initially react when he said, I'm going to do it?
The first thing I said was, are you sure that this is the right time? You know, we are young. At that time, we had basically a 6-month-old and a 3-year-old, and we really thought deeply about whether this was the right thing both for our family and whether Vivek, as a 37, at that point he'll be 39, would be the best version of himself for this role. And after reflecting on it, we realized that it really is now, as a young person, as someone who really has this investment in the future through our sons, that we both have the hope, but also the conviction that the future that we see of a true American revival is possible.
What is it that you were able to fall in love with Vivek, that you think that the American people, if they also knew this about him, if they saw this side of him, then Americans would also fall in love with him?
He is extremely genuine. There is no version of him that I see that he does not put out in his speeches or in his interviews. He is someone who loves people. He loves America. He loves life. He thinks that he's extremely optimistic. There is no version of the world in which we are, as a country, do not succeed. There is no world in which we do not experience that American revival that he talks about. And I think the people are starting to see it, and it's honestly infectious.
His greatest strength?
His joy and optimism.
Biggest weakness?
His biggest weakness is the fact that he, in some ways, is one of his strengths, is that he speaks freely. And especially with social media and everything being what it is, sometimes things can be memed and taken out of context.
He has said recently, Juneteenth is a useless holiday, affirmative action is a cancer on our national soul. He's called the protesters peaceful on January 6th. Do you guys agree on all of his passionate thoughts?
Those are 3 very different statements, and I think they can be taken differently based on whether you say them the way they were or whether you take them in context. He also celebrated Juneteenth, a few months ago, and he believes very strongly that, celebrating the end of slavery is an important thing. But as holidays go, or any holiday for that matter, the fact that we have not taken a day off to allow people to vote, to actually engage in the democratic process, that would be the highest utility for any holiday. So it being the most recent national holiday that was instated, that is really where it comes from. Utility for us as a country that says we believe in democracy, for us to still expect people to find time to vote, in the interstices of their lives, is really absurd.
But do you have differences of opinions, or are you kind of lockstep with like many of his main big political thrusts?
He and I might disagree on how he says things, but when I get to talk to him, I have the pleasure of getting to talk to him more than anyone in the world. And I know in his heart, I agree with everything he believes.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.